All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving headfirst into an absolutely fascinating real world business story. It's a high stakes sales crisis that unfolds under some incredible pressure. And it involves everything from sales failures and political deadlines to, well, one of the most bizarre management constraints you will ever hear about. So it all kicks off with this number right here: 24 million Vietnamese dong. That's about 1,000 US dollars. Now, this wasn't some huge, ambitious goal for one person. This was the daily sales target for an entire team. Kind of seems doable, right? Well, that's exactly where our mystery begins. And that right there is the big question we're going to tackle. I mean, how on earth does a team of 34 people completely fail to hit a target that works out to less than $30 per person? The leader was completely baffled, and honestly, so were we. So let's get into how they figure this whole thing out. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the problem itself. Then we'll look at how a lesson from a military general completely changed their perspective. After that, we'll uncover a secret power pair hiding in plain sight, follow a wild gambit from a so-called silent commander, and finally, we'll reveal the killer sales script that turned everything around. All right, first up, the 24 million VND problem. So the leader is watching the numbers and they're just flat. Nothing is happening. You've got 34 people, one seemingly simple goal, and just total failure. Naturally, they started to question absolutely everything. And this is where the leader has this light bulb moment. They realize the team might be fundamentally wrong for the task at hand. They were acting like marketing troops, spreading ideas, building hype, being inspirational, when what the company desperately needed were sales troops to go into battle, close deals, and actually bring in the cash. And to really dig into this idea, the leader turned to a super unexpected place: Vietnamese history. They saw this direct parallel between their 34-person team and the original 34 soldiers of the Vietnam Propaganda and Liberation Army. And believe it or not, this analogy was the key that unlocked the whole problem. This slide just lays it all out so perfectly. On one side, you have marketing troops, right? They're sowing seeds. Their job is to build awareness, tell great stories. Their work is essentially propaganda. But on the other side, you have sales troops. They're harvesting the crops. Their job is the battle, converting that interest, handling objections, and closing the deal. The team was stuck in propaganda mode, talking about the vision but never actually asking for the sale. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's so true. You can have the most inspiring mission in the entire world, but if that inspiration doesn't translate into actual revenue, the whole operation is going to collapse. The army quite literally runs out of food. The team can't afford to keep going. Okay, but here's where the plot really thickens. While the huge team of 34 was failing, the leader took a closer look at the data. And what they found was shocking. The few sales that were actually happening, well, they weren't random at all. They were almost all coming from one single source. I mean, look at this. The imbalance is just wild. Out of 6 recent sales, 5 of them, that's 83% of the total revenue, came from just one single salesperson. One person was doing better work than the other 33 combined. So what was their secret? Well, it turns out it wasn't just one person. It was this perfect power pair. You had Bi Chung, a literature teacher, acting as the inspirer. She was incredible at connecting with customers on an emotional level, building trust. But backing her up was Tang Ha, the validator. Her super serious background in finance gave customers that rock-solid credibility they needed to feel safe. It's like one person gets the emotional buy-in and the other one comes in with the hard facts to close the deal. It's a classic lesson. Find those complementary strengths and put them together. And right when they're figuring this out, everything just goes into overdrive. The sales problem suddenly wasn't just about business anymore. It was now just one piece of a much larger crisis that involved high-level politics and became a massive personal test for the leader. Okay, so check out how fast this all went down. There's a critical 45 million VND payment due to a key political partner. It's already overdue. Then a major political event ends early, which moves the deadline up, like now. The leader gets a call and is ordered on an urgent flight to handle it personally. The pressure was just off the charts. And then, and I'm not making this up, the leader's boss throws in this insane twist: a shocking new rule, a 102-word daily communication limit, and they could only use English or Japanese. So right in the middle of a massive crisis, the leader is turned into a silent commander, totally unable to manage or rally the troops like they normally would. But constraints can breed creativity, right? And this was an absolutely brilliant move. The leader just created a live Google Doc, shared the link with the executive team, and that became the new command center. They could write as much as they wanted inside the document, all while technically obeying the 102-word limit on direct messages. Just an ingenious workaround. So, to get that 45 million VND right now, the leader pulled off this incredible high-stakes gambit. They called up a loyal customer and convinced them to pay for 5 product licenses upfront as a buffer. As a thank you, the customer got a huge reward of internal points. This move got them the cash they needed, but it also put the sales team on a brand new do-or-die mission. Find 5 new customers in 7 days to replace that buffer, or the whole plan would fall apart. So all of this insane pressure, it didn't break them. It actually forged a brand new weapon. Those high-level, risky gambits led to something concrete, repeatable, and unbelievably powerful: a new sales script. So the first piece of this new playbook was this: a 7-day guarantee. This totally changed the game. By offering a 100% refund if the customer's kid wasn't engaged within a week, it took all the financial risk off the table. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about convincing a parent to buy, it was about inviting a family to try something new. But, of course, solving one problem created a new one. The sale wasn't truly closed until the actual end user, the child, was on board and engaged. So now the real challenge wasn't selling to the parents, it was getting their kids, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, to actually use the thing within 7 days. Well, how do you do that? You do it with this absolutely killer line. Do you love Uncle Ho on the Polymer banknote? It's funny, it's direct, and it connects with young people on a level they immediately understand: money. Polymer is just the word for the polymer material modern Vietnamese money is made of. And the psychology behind this script is just genius. Let's walk through it. It frames the program not as some boring educational tool, but as a machine for earning money and getting financial independence. It's not about asking your parents for cash, it's about learning how to make it yourself. It speaks directly to what young people want, and that 7-day promise makes it a totally risk-free challenge. So, did it work? Oh yeah, it worked. The results were just off the charts. If you look at this chart, the team went from basically 0 sales to averaging 1.5 sales every single day. The combo of the Power Pair model, the risk-free guarantee, and that killer Polymer script just completely transformed their performance. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This whole story shows that a crisis isn't just a problem you have to survive, it's an opportunity for some radical innovation. That intense pressure forced this team to come up with a creative, multi-layered strategy that went way beyond just a simple sales pitch. So we'll leave you with this question. The next time you're facing a crisis, will your strategy be as creative as your pitch?